C'est la boo! Everybody, hello and welcome back to the HabWrap, your angriest and punchiest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. My name is Harry Rice. I will be your host this evening. Let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens. Firstly, I do have to apologize I didn't come up here after the last game. The reason for that is my TV was dumb. I paused it because my dad was at work. He was coming home. He was going to be late during the second. He was going to come home. And turns out that when with our TV, if you have it paused for too long, it'll just kind of turn off, go into rest mode, put it back on, and it's with 5 minutes left in the second. So I was going to wait and catch the replay because there's a channel I watch on YouTube that that'll upload the preseason games. But it was already a day and a half after by the time he had uploaded it, and I figured, hey, most people probably got their fix from Whiskey Lund or Hockey Junkie, so no point in doing that at that point, unfortunately. So, my God, after taking, technically 3 days off, what a way to come back. This is a game for the preseason ages. This might have been the best preseason game I've ever seen. Actually, probably the second best preseason game. There was one a couple years back, like 2017, 2018, where the Canadiens destroyed the Senators, like 9-2, I think it was, or 9-3, something like that. I know Gallagher had like a 5-point game, and actually he had a pretty big part in tonight's game as well. Spoiler alert. But yeah, as you can tell by the title, it is called The Melee in Quebec City. And that's for a very good reason. Firstly, we were in Quebec City. We weren't playing in the Bell Center or the Canadian Tire Center, I believe is the Sens arena. We were having a neutral site game in Quebec City, who, of course, like usual, were very pro-Montreal Canadiens. I don't know why they gave the Senators home billing, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, we were in Quebec City. It was a very, very fun game. Yeah, it was just a great atmosphere. If the Quebec Nordiques do come back, I'm not going to suck them off. I'm going to say, hey, screw the Quebec Nordiques. But for now, bring back the Quebec Nordiques. They really deserve it. Hopefully they're expansion team number 36. Fingers crossed. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way, we do have another thing of note before we get into anything relating to the game. Max Pacioretty, former Montreal Canadiens forward and captain, has officially retired from the NHL. He took a job, I believe, as an assistant head coach for the University of Michigan's hockey team. So, yeah, best of luck in retirement to Patches. Hopefully he has a good tenure with the coaching staff over in Michigan. And thank you for your years of productivity with the Canadiens. And, of course, thank you for Nick Suzuki. Very happy to have gotten Nick Suzuki because of Max Pacioretty. So, once again, if you guys wish to comment anything, please comment. Thank you, Pacioretty. Of course, we do know one of the worst captains in Canadiens franchise history, if not the worst. But he did produce. He was a very solid goal scorer. And very, very happy to hear that he did not re-sign with the Maple Leafs. He apparently actually did have a couple offers from NHL teams, but he decided it was time to hang him up. So, again, respect to Maxime Pacioretty. So, now we get into tonight's game. For those of you who are new here, how we do this is we go through the lines for both teams. I give my little my game notes for the game. Then we go through the stats for the Montreal Canadiens. And then we get our asses on out of here. We're going to get right into the lines because, quite frankly, you guys aren't here for that. You guys are here for the notes if you didn't watch the game, which, my God, I feel bad if you didn't. Let's get right into these lineup notes. All right, so the opening lines for the Canadiens were Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Doc, Gallagher, Veleno, Beck, Laine, and Florian Jackeye, Evans, and Anderson. On the blue line, Matheson and Engstrom, Arbor, Jackeye with Hudson, Struble, and Carrier. Jakub Dobeš would get the start in net for the Canadiens, and Capo Kakinen backed him up. I assumed they were going to go 50-50, but no, Dobeš just went all the way. He played the entire game. The opening lines for the Senators were Perron, Cousins, Dylan Cousins, Nick Cousins, Pinto with Amadio, Hodgson with Yannick and McEwen, and then Lykesell with Holiday and Kaliev. Why couldn't I pronounce his name there for a second? Sanderson Zub, Clevin Jensen, and Yakimchuk Shabbat were on the blue line. Meanwhile, Levi Melalainen gets a start in net for the Sens between the pipes, and Mads Sogard, the big tall boy, backs him up. He did not play for a single second of this game. So, now we get into the notes for the game, and by God, this game was so much fun. So in the first period, the Habs ice a puck early, Sens hem them in 2 minutes. I don't know why I'm yawning. I guess I didn't get enough sleep last night. Habs ice a puck early, the Sens hem them in 2 minutes in. And then, here we go already. We were getting a little bit of the temperature rising as Arbor went at it with Perron after a whistle. There's a small little scrum after the net gets knocked off. Anderson has a shot. Melanainen. Wait, what? Anderson with a knock. Melanainen goes down. No rebound available though. I don't know what that note meant. I think my autocorrect changed the word to knock. I'm pretty sure I meant Anderson with a shot. Melanainen goes down, and there's no rebound available. I don't proofread my notes. I just write them, make sure they look good on first look, and then I move on. First one of the year that actually really confused me, so we're not bad. Doc has a nice hit on Cousins behind the Sens net, and then the Canadiens score. Demidov ended up getting a roar from the crowd beforehand. They were really excited to see him. Kapanen banks one home in the slot. You gotta go there sometimes, and he gets it. He scores from Newhook and Matheson to make it 1-0 Canadiens just about 5 minutes in. That goal came at 4:48 in the first period. So the Canadiens looked really solid early on. And spoiler, they wouldn't look back. Line has good vision to keep a puck away from the Sens. There's a good setup. Line actually almost gets it back off the setup for a shot. Yannick then hits Hudson from behind while someone else had hit Line. Thankfully, neither men were hurt. They just got hit. Doc gets knocked down and then a cross check to the back. There's no call, of course. Doc looked really good tonight. I think Doc played by far his best game of the preseason. He was rewarded with points, and also he looked like he wants to be the second line center. This guy looks like if he can stay healthy, he's going to be that second line center. That's what he looks like. He looks like a guy who is ready. He's fresh off his rehab, and now he looks like someone who's about to say, yeah, I'm the second line center. No big deal. I do me. Sens then go offside after a 3-on-2. We get our first commercial break after that. Engstrom barely avoids a hit from Cousins. Nick Cousins was all around. I probably should have clarified which Cousins. I didn't realize that both were playing until a little while into the game. But yeah, Cousins was a bit of a pest all night long, which I kind of get it, you know. I kind of get it. You know, he's still fighting for a spot on the fourth line for the Sens, so I get he has to be physical. He kind of has to push. Maybe not toe the line, but he does have to try and make an impression, so I get it. But obviously, you don't want to see a rookie, not even a rookie, he hasn't even made the NHL yet, Engstrom, but you don't want to see a guy like that, you know, get hit, and thankfully, he avoided it very last second. There's a scrum in front of Dobesh after a shot, the net comes off, there's no goal. Good composure by Dobesh. If he is the backup instead of Kakinen, which at this point I do think is probably the case, he's looking good. I honestly think they could probably go with a 50-30 type of split. I think if Dobesh gets anything more than 20 games, I think that'll be a very successful backup campaign. I can't see them icing Monty for another 60 this year, unless Dobesh has like a primo season from, I think it was last year he started the year with us. He comes in just like an 850 save percentage, a 4 goals against average, unless he looks like complete shit, which I don't see how that happens with Dobesh. He's looked very, very solid so far. But unless something like that happens, I don't think there's any way Monty's playing 60 games again this year. Either that, or if he's putting up a consistent like 1.78 goals against average and a 930 save percentage every night, maybe that's how. But unfortunately, that I don't see happening either. He'll be very good. He just won't be Carey Price good. Demidov and Kapanen have a 2-on-1. Cappy just shoots it wide. Habs good shot blocking. They block 3 shots in 10 seconds as the Sens press with 9 minutes left. Doc has a nice steal right at the line to hold it. Habs then press. Demidov has a shot with a screen, but Maryland holds on to that. Demigod good deke around the Senator. He sets up Kapanen in the slot. That gets stopped. Kapanen also had a very solid game. Most players on the Canadiens had a good game tonight. The only ones I don't really think... God, there's no maybe Beck. Owen Beck's probably the only one who didn't really show all that much. But I think he was more so just a two-way guy, especially because Veleno and Laine were on the ice with him most of the time. He was just a two-way guy. So it's not even that he played bad. He just wasn't noticeable, which I'm actually going to say might be a compliment to his defensive game. So there we go. We're saying positive things about everyone tonight because genuinely was a positive game for the Canadiens. Cousins goes the other way. The Sens shot is gloved by Dobesh. Evans then gets hit hard against the bench by Yannick. That had to hurt. And here we go. So this is where the game really starts to get good because Yannick drops the gloves with Florian Xhekaj. This is genuinely already a fight of the year candidate. Both guys just drop the gloves. Yannick fakes going in the way Arbor did with Zach Kassian a couple years ago. But they both grab onto each other and they just start throwing the rights at each other. It's boom, 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 boom. In some cases, they're both landing at the same time. Xhekaj barely gets the better of Yannick. That was a fantastic bout. Florian then gets the crowd hyped up. This kid, I so badly want Florian to make the team. I will completely understand if Veleno does, because he also has looked good in preseason. But the fight that Florian had tonight, he had a whole other level of confidence tonight. I want to see this team do so good. And this team has more confidence when they've got guys like Arbor and Flo and Josh Anderson in the lineup right now. Like tonight especially, they looked like a whole other beast. And that's without their top line even playing. That's without Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slav in the lineup. My God. This team looks so good. So they have a tilt there. Laine then has a nice poke, but he just can't keep it in. He almost gets a chance. Or he can't keep it on a stick, I should say. He nearly gets a chance, but just doesn't have speed in neutral. I think he was at the end of a shift anyways, so that also didn't help. Gallagher then, a really good save in the crease. Sorry. Gallagher has a really good save in the crease. It was going wide anyways, but still good on him to get there first and not, just, just let it roll by because the Sen gets there and it's in the back of the net next thing you know. Nope, just grabs it, just flips it along the boards. Good there. There's then a delayed penalty to the Canadiens. Hudson with speed. He goes all the way, but there's a little bump that takes him off the puck. That's before the delayed penalty. Lysell gets called. No, sorry, delayed penalty to the Senators. I don't know why I put this. My note taking needs to get better, and it will. Again, I'm still a little bit rusty. Lysell gets called for a hold. The puck is given away. What a stick by Doc to break up a 2-on-1. It was basically a 2-on-0. Demidov tried to get it to Doc, but it just bounced on him as he tried to get it. That's what led to the 2-on-1. Kapanen, he looks good, as with 7 seconds left, he gets another shot on net. That ends the first. Habs with just about a minute of power play time to start the second. Habs lead at 1-0. The shots were 8-6 for the Habs after that first period as well. In the second period, the Habs do press. Matheson just can't keep a clearing attempt out, though, or hold a clearing attempt in, technically. So the Habs are 0 for 1 on the power play. Anderson can't get a break because the puck is behind him. Anderson might have played a little weak at points in this game. Just a little. And then Xhekaj gets called for a hook. It actually is a good penalty because it was a near breakaway for David Perron. Carrier has a good steal as he clears almost immediately. Habs unclear again. The Sens go offside as they tried to press. There's a look for Kaliev. Dobesh sticks with him. Habs unclear, and we are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill tonight. There's then a 2-on-1. Laine just can't get the pass across. Hudson then shoots, but that gets blocked. Hudson, I've noticed, is taking a lot more shots this year in preseason. Hudson looks like a guy who really focused on his shot. I think he heard the criticisms that he wasn't shooting as much. Well, it's not necessarily criticism, more so just everybody understanding he has a higher IQ, so he understands when a shot might not be the best to take, but I think he really worked on getting his shot to the level where he's fine taking a shot because there might be a tip or there might be a screen or a rebound to pick up. I think Hudson really improved on his shooting, and I think you're going to see him put up potentially double-digit goals this year. Would love to see that out of Lane. Gallagher has a backhand. He's looking for a drive by tip, but just doesn't get one. Holiday then gets hit hard into the stanchion by Bolduc. My God, that is great. And the Habs, Habs go to the power play as Demidov gets his stick held up. That is, again, that's a hold. Afterwards, Cousins tries to go at Demidov, but Struble goes right in there to defend his brethren in Canadiens hockey. And actually, apparently, it wasn't a holding. It was actually a trip by Stephen Holiday, funny enough. So, thankfully, he was fine after taking that big hit into the stanchion. And the Canadiens score. It does not take long. It actually does take a little while. That's actually on the Nick Cousins roughing, I believe. Patrick Laine makes it 2-0 on a one-timer. What a shot. Making it look easy. Demidov and Gallagher with the assists on that one. That is a beauty of a one-timer. Habs are 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Arbor then joins a rush. There's a shot that gets deflected wide. Demidov has a great strip by anticipating where a deke might come. He just gets the puck in his feet, sets up a scoring chance, and then moments later, we score. Alexander Carrier in his home building, I believe they said. He's left wide open. He gets a pass, just walks right in, wrists it top right over the glove, and he buries that from Gallagher and Newhook. Newhook, actually, I need to give him another assist on my stats. So from Gallagher and Newhook, 8:53 in. Habs have a 3-0 lead just like that. Habs impress again for another goal. Hudson looks for Gallagher, but he can't find him. Sens go the other way. Sanderson and Yannick exchange passes. Florian then has a chance that stopped. Doc got a hard hit, but still got that pass to flow. Good on you, Docker. Veleno works hard to keep a puck alive. He looks like he's hungry to play for the Canadiens. I'm genuinely really impressed with Joe Veleno, even though I don't think he has any points. I'm looking at my notes real quick, and no, Veleno does not have any points, but I think he's looked really solid, and I think even if he gets sent down, because I'm pretty sure he's waiver eligible, would not be surprised if a team claims him if he doesn't make the team, because he's looked really solid. I really like what we've seen out of Joe Veleno so far in preseason. And who knows, maybe he's in Saturday. I don't know. I assume if he's not, I assume he'll be with the rest of the, at least I assume, last cuts, regardless if it's tomorrow, Thursday, whenever it is before Saturday's game. I assume that's when we get the last cuts, more than likely. So there's a good stop by Dobesh in the slot off of a Perron shot. He did lose a stick. Thankfully, there's no harm, no foul. But there is a little bit of harm because Oliver Kapanen gets called for a hook on Perron. I thought it was a little bit weak, but I kind of get why they called it. Evans gets a clear. We clear again. Perron has near break, but he doesn't get all of it. Dobesh makes a solid 5-hole save. Habs clear twice more. Once was a little bit risky because it was right by the side of the net. If that thing is not fully on, who I think it was Carrier who cleared it, that might have trickled into the net, but thankfully we cleared it. Habs get a near 3-on-1, but there wasn't enough speed. They're content to just kill off the penalty. Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. And then this is where the game really starts to get out of control for the Canadiens. Not for the Canadiens, for the refs. The Habs really start to take this game into their own hands. And I don't mean, and you know, you get what I mean. If you watch the game, you're going to be like, oh, that's funny. So behind the play, Carey ends up getting jumped by Hodgson. I believe that's Hayden Hodgson, while he's not ready. On the replay, Hodgson had boarded Newhook from behind. Thankfully, Newhook would stay in the game, I believe. He was fine, thankfully, but it was still a bit of an aggressive boarding. Carrier immediately goes in, and Hodgson threw punches before Carrier was even ready, before Carrier got the gloves off. So, what are the penalties? Well, firstly, before we get to that, holy shit, during the breakup, both teams are near the benches. Jack-Eye and McEwen get into it. McEwen goes after Jack-Eye, tries to go in head first and grabs onto him. So Jack Eye says thank you and just beats the shit out of Zach McEwen. Then at the same time, Struble and Yannick get going because Yannick causes a Struble cross-check to hit him in the chin. Struble immediately just batters Yannick 3 rights, bloodies up Yannick's mouth. Actually, might have been a nosebleed, but either way, bloodies up Yannick. Jack Eye goes, takes Zach McEwen down after beating the hell out of him for a while. Holy shit. So this game has officially gotten out of control from the referees. The officials have lost any semblance of control here. So what are the penalties? So firstly, Hodgson got a boarding, and unfortunately because of the way NHL.com is, they don't actually have it listed as if it's a major or a minor. I believe it was a minor, though. I believe. So, either way, Hodgson gets a boarding and a roughing for going after Carrier. Carrier also gets a rough, which, you know what? He goes after Hodgson to try and avenge. I would actually argue that's a good call. McEwen gets a rough. Of course, Yannick and Struble get a fighting majors. Jack Eye and McEwen each get fighting. And McEwen gets a second roughing penalty. So it is a 5-on-3, a full 2-minute 5-on-3 for the Montreal Canadiens. Holy shit. The Senators completely lost the plot at this point in the game. Which is just, you love to see it. Even in the preseason, they're acting like the Senators and just losing all the time. Laine has a one-timer that stopped. The rebound gets loose. It nearly is poked home. Laine has too much sauce on a pass to Demidov. That's cleared. Habs can't get it on a 5-on-3. And there's still 5 minutes of power play time, actually. Because, yeah, that does remind me. It was a major for a boarding. I'm pretty sure that's what the holiday penalty was. I'm pretty sure that's where they got it. Not holiday, sorry, on the Hodgson boarding. Because, yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I saw Hodgson out for the rest of the game. So I'm pretty sure that actually was a major for boarding. So, 3 minutes of power play time again. Sens do get a clear on a near 2-on-1. Habs look good, but there's nothing to the net. There's still a minute and a half of power play time to start the third. Habs have a 3-0 lead. The shots are 16-12 for the Canadiens as well. Sens end up clearing a puck 3 times. There's no connections for the power play. There's a line of shot that gets stopped. The Habs end up being 1 for 4 on the power play as a result. Doc out of midair gets a shot, but that's just wide. That was a really solid look hand-eye wise. There's another 2-on-1. There's another 2-on-1. Demidov goes to Anderson. That gets blocked, unfortunately. Laine then has a near chance. Or as I put, Laine then nearly chance, but nothing there. Demidov gets tripped by Holiday, and that's a power play for the Habs. 4:20 in. Actually, 4:23, unfortunately. And we score seconds into the power play. Lane Hudson risks it with traffic in front. Gallagher was the guy there. Big shocker. And it's 4-0, 4 seconds in to the power play. Demidov and Doc with the assists. Again, it's one right off the draw. Demidov comes in, gets it down to Hudson, who risks it, and that's in the back of the net. Habs are 2 for 5 on the power play, 4:27 into the game. Sabrenko nearly puts one by Dobesh. He pushes across in time. Another good chance for Dobesh. And a whack by Nick Cousins. You don't do that. And we got some more shit as Florian goes after Nick Cousins right away for that. I'd be really surprised if Florian doesn't make the team. With the way that he's able to defend his players, fuck Jeff Petrie. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. And then on the next shift, oh, here we go. Evans gets pushed by McEwen, trying to dump him back into the Canadiens bench. And we got a full line brawl, dude. Everyone's involved. McEwen and Jack Eye go at it again. Anderson looked like he had somebody. Florian started fighting. It looked like with Carter Yakimchuk. Actually, looking at the penalty notes, it does confirm that it was Jack Eye and Yakimchuk. Basically, everybody just gets involved there. This is the type of hockey you love to see. The Canadiens just dominating the Senators, and the Senators just making themselves look like the complete morons that they are. So, what are the penalties? So Jack-Eye and McEwen each get double minors for roughing and game misconducts. Florian and Carter Yakimchuk each get 5 for fighting, and they actually did miss it here, but Florian also got a game misconduct. Also did get a game misconduct because he went right to the back as Yakimchuk went to serve his penalty in the box. So Jack-Eye, both Jack-Eyes were done. As they were saying, the brothers Jack-Eye on commentary tonight. That was fun to hear. But the sheriff and his deputy, they both get to hit the showers a little bit earlier than usual. And you know what? I think this is one game where they're perfectly fine with it. It's preseason. The Habs are dominating. They're going to win. So, yeah. Still playing 5-on-5, though, surprisingly. I thought that there would have been another Canadiens power play, but no need to, because a minute and 20 seconds later, Nick Cousins with a clear slash at Demidov's arm. Demidov grabs onto it. He goes down. He ends up going to the bench. And Cousins gets called for slashing, which is completely, obviously, understandable. Habs get a clear second time around after the Senators clear after a big Engstrom slapper. The way the notes are, the penalties are organized are weird. Because it says that Cousins gets a slash. Oh wait, I'm a moron. I'm skipping ahead now. I gotta chill out. Bolduc gets a one-timer. That's blocked by Zetherland. Demidov's back out there. Thank God. He's got some passes with Line going on. And we score with seconds left on the power play. Kirby Dach gets called for the goal. He gets it on a quick rush from Gallagher and Mr. Lane Hutson. 9:21 actually into the third period. That's a beauty of a goal. He looks like he tips it. He gets the shot off kind of in midair. Dach looks ready. He makes it 5-0. The Habs are 3 for 6 on the power play tonight. And I don't know what happened actually here, but it says at 9:21 that Nick Cousins gets a misconduct. So I don't know if coming out of the box he said something to the officials and he got a misconduct as a result. But Nick Cousins at this point gets a misconduct, which is, I'm pretty sure for most people probably wanting to see Cousins get the shit kicked out of him for slashing Demidov and almost injuring him. That's why you don't see that happen, is because he gets a misconduct, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately just because I would love to see someone cross-check him in the throat. The Olays then start rolling in Quebec City. Sanderson has some looks. Dobesh makes a good stop to keep the shutout bid going. And then here we go. Hutson gets engaged with Dylan Cousins. They both go down. You love to see a guy like Lane Hutson. He is not afraid of anyone. They started getting involved, and the Habs end up going to a power play as Cousins called for a cross-check. I thought it was the rough on Hutson, but looking at the notes, it's actually a cross-check. So I think Cousins cross-checked somebody, and then Hutson went after him as a result. Habs just can't get anything, unfortunately. We are 3 for 7 on the power play. And then Dach getting on the puck. He has a little dump in as the Canadiens look to push. When Donovan Sabranko jumps Kirby Dach, he just grabs Dach and just starts punching him. Dach immediately goes down because he didn't want to fight. He saw Sabranko coming. I think he just got into a shoulder on shoulder. Sabranko grabs Dach and he just starts wailing at Dach. Everybody gets in there. And with 6 minutes left, at this point, surprisingly nobody just took a stick and just slashed Sabranko across the face. However, the refs actually made sure to handle it, which is something that they gotta do in the fucking regular season. Sabranko, so here's what he gets. Sabranko gets 5 for fighting, which I actually forgot that you can get a solo 5 for fighting. It doesn't need to be both guys. You can actually get a solo 5-minute major for fighting. In this case, because it's not both guys, it's a 5-minute major power play. He gets 2 for instigating, which I think is really funny, especially when the other guy doesn't engage, that he gets the fight and the instigator, and a 10-minute misconduct. So the Canadiens have a 7-minute power play. It's actually going to be the instigator, then the fight that they're going to start. The fighting major comes afterwards. So, Habs go on the power play. Newhook gets found by Laine, but it's just wide of the net. That would have been really nice to see Newhook get the shot there. Unfortunately, he just didn't get in the back of the net. The rest of the game, like I said, is the power play, fight for fighting. Habs were just happy to kill time. They didn't press too hard. They didn't look to, make it 6 and 7 and 8-0. 5-0. They knew the game was over. They didn't want to exacerbate things with anybody else that might have been on the ice. They didn't want anybody, headhunting Lane Hudson or Patrick Laine or going over and cross-checking Doc, because he did get a little bit of power play time at the end. They were just happy to kill the time off. They pressed a little, but the sense clear. It's just, all right, take, 10 extra seconds to, get everything going. And then with 10 seconds left, I think it was Matheson just told Evans just stay behind the net, keep the puck. Habs are, I believe, 3 for 9 on the power play tonight. And that will end the game. The shot's 23-16 for the Habs. A 5-0 win for the Bleu, Blanc, et Rouge. We're going to do this again on Saturday night. And my God, I really hope that I find a way to record this game, because I want to watch this shit, dude. I want to be able to watch this game. I want to come home after work on Saturday, sit down with my daddy, not have the game results. Unless the game actually gets shown on TV where we're at, which maybe it'll happen. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. We'll do this again Saturday. I hope that, again, when I come home, get to sit down on the couch with my daddy, watch the game, not know the result, not know about anything that happens, and just enjoy the game. just get to enjoy the shit, bro. So, I'm hoping. But, alas, we will see. So, now, after tonight's game, where, again, everybody looked good. There was not really anybody, aside from Beck, who just didn't stand out. Nobody looked bad. Everybody had moments to shine. Everybody looked good. Engstrom, I thought, had a few decent chances. He'll probably get sent down, though. Just not enough room for him on the team. Flo, I think, needs to make the team. I think Florian has to make the team at this point. Even though he is jumping into probably a third-line role, Florian just has to get into the lineup. He has to. He just looks so good. Newhook looked good. Kapanen had an impressive game. Demidov, of course, looked like Demidov. Gallagher had a really impressive, in case you weren't counting, 3-assist game. Docker looked ready. Bolduc, I thought, looked really good compared to his first few games. Veleno looked solid. Laine had chances. Laine looks like he's ready to score 40. Flo was always involved until he got misconduct. Evans was solid. Andy looked good, actually, at points. But, again, a couple points I mentioned. Matheson was all right. Arbor, of course, was Arbor. Hudson looked phenomenal. Struble actually looked good, especially during his fight. Carey was very, very, very responsible defensively. I thought he had a very good game. And Dobesh and net, great, great, great job. Even though he only faced, 16 shots. He faced 16 shots. It would have been easy to potentially let one or two of those in. Yeah. So, yeah. I think he had a good job. And also, fuck Nick Cousins for the slash on Ivan Demidov once again. That was really dirty. And I hope that if he plays on Saturday, that Jack Eye just gives him a nice elbow to the head. And you know what? I wouldn't mind if he ended Cousins' career, because quite frankly, you don't go after superstars like that. You don't do that, especially in preseason. You don't do that. We saw what happened last year when Laine got hurt by Pare. Jack Eye gave him a choice, and he took matters into his own hands. And I don't know if Arbor would ever listen to this, but if he somehow is. Please handle Nick Cousins if he plays on Saturday. Or if not, just keep the date November 1st in mind. Please and thank you. Alright, let's get into the stats and let's get our way on out of here. I've already been yapping for over half an hour about the Canadiens game. Alex Newhook surprisingly leads the team with a goal, 4 assists for 5 points. I don't think I'm miscounting. Lane Hudson, of course, then has 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Nick Suzuki, Goal Caulfield, and Michael Matheson each have a goal, 2 assists for 3 points. Yvon Demidov and Brendan Gallagher each with 3 assists. Patrick Laine with 2 goals. Sean Farrell before he got sent down. Alex Carrier, I almost said William. Kirby Dach each have a goal and assist for 2 points. Philippe Mazar and Tyler Thorpe before they got sent down each have 2 assists. Owen Beck, Florian Jacki, Arbor Jacki, Riley Kidney, and Oliver Kapanen before Kidney got sent down all have a goal. Luke Tuck, I almost said Alex. Jurasovkovsky, Zach Bolduc, I almost said Alex Bolduc for some reason. Sammy Blais and Alex Belzil each have an assist as well in preseason. Florian Jacki has got 3 fights. Arbor Jacki, Luke Tuck, Brendan Davidson, Jared Davidson, and Jaden Struble each have a fight in preseason. I'm going to do... You know what? I apologize to Brendan Davidson. I complimented his game so much, and then I still called him Brendan Davidson in the stats. So, God damn it. If Brendan Davidson ever listens to this as well, consider it a compliment, because then someone with Davidson name actually knows how to play hockey. So, those are the those are the stats. Oh, thank you guys so much for thank you guys so much for watching or listening if you're on Spotify. I mean, technically you're still listening on YouTube, but you get what I mean. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to swallow I had spit in my mouth for a second. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember, no matter how bad we are or how good we are, Adam Montreal, I have been your host, Harry Rice of the HabWrap. Thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to share, with all your friends. Don't forget to like. Again, if anybody comments, I'll mention that in the next episode before we get into the recaps and all that. So again, that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Harry Rice, Adam Montreal, and again, always remember, no matter how bad we are, no matter how good we are, Ali Montreal, go Habs go, Celebu.